Last Raps Baseball is on the air, and tonight we are bringing you live commentary from the Nippon Professional Baseball League. It is from the Kashiro Citizens Stadium. It's going to be the Orix Buffaloes and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Ohio gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Tonight from the Kashiro Citizens Stadium, it is the Buffaloes and the Fighters, and we'll first of all give you the starting lineup. The visitors from Osaka, leading off for the Buffaloes, playing in center field is number 1, Shuhei Fukuda. Batting second and playing second base is number 3, Ryo Adachi. Batting third and doing the designated hitting is number 7, Masataka Yoshida. In the cleanup spot and playing in left field, it's Kai Nakagawa. Hitting fifth at third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. Batting sixth and playing first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Hitting seventh in right field is number 50, Yuya Oda. Batting eighth and playing shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Batting ninth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And they are going to be facing Kenya Suzuki, who takes to a record of 1-0 to the hill. He's worked 20 innings this year. He's allowed 19 hits, 8 runs, all of which have been earned. He has walked 6 and struck out 16. And he's got an earned run average of 3.60. Well, that's the starting lineup for the visitors from Osaka. Now for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, leading off and playing in right field is number 27, Yudai Furukawa. Batting second, playing shortstop is number 4, Daigo Kamikawabata. Hitting third and left field is number 8, Kensuke Kondo. And the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 12, Go Matsumoto. Hitting fifth in center field is number 61, Yuma Imagawa. Batting sixth and playing first base is number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Hitting seventh at third base is number 49, Ruchi Sato. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 10, Yushi Shimizu. Batting ninth and playing at second is number 2, Kenji Sugatani. And they are going to be facing Taisuke Yamaoka, who takes a 6-6 record to the hill tonight. He's worked 103 innings. He's allowed 84 hits, 27 runs, 22 of which have been earned. He's walked 19 and struck out 86, and he's got a sparkling 1.92 earned run average. Well, those are your starting lineups. We welcome Quas to the house tonight as he's listening. We got some early action, a rare Tuesday afternoon game in Japan, and it is Monday night in North America. So hopefully we're going to have ourselves an audience for this one. It is going to be coming up to bat here at the top of the first inning. It'll be Shuhei Fukuda, Ryo Adachi, Masataka Yoshida, the 1-2-3 hitters in the batting order for the Buffaloes. They are playing this game, as we mentioned before. It's a neutral site game. It's one of those cool games that they sometimes play in different venues. It's an outdoor game. It is at the Kashiro Citizens Stadium, and one of the things that you'll notice is there's no upper deck, and there really isn't a whole lot to cover these two teams over. And the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball taken for a called strike. We are underway as Shuhei Fukuda watches that one go by. Fukuda hitting 271 on the year. He's got no homers and 18 runs batted in. As Suzuki kicks and delivers, it is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Suzuki is a signed winding right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded right back to the pitcher. He fields it. He throws over to first, and that is going to retire Fukuda on a ground out 1-3 to begin the ball game. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Ryo Adachi. Rain is in the forecast today, so we're kind of hoping with fingers crossed that they're going to be able to get this one in without any issues. It is a blustery day, and it is overcast. So Ryo Adachi steps to the plate. He's hitting 261 on the year. He's got a homer and 15 RBIs. The first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Adachi. Suzuki kicks and delivers. There is a changeup taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. That last pitch floated in at 115 kilometers an hour. And here comes the offering from the righty. It's a fastball swung on it, missed. The count now goes to 1-2. Our friend Quaff says he's 1 game away from a 5-leg parlay. And I assume this would be the leg right here. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Suzuki rocks into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that just misses a bit low. So it says the home plate umpire, and that's going to run the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That last pitch, pretty darn good. Here's the 2-2 offering, and it's a changeup swung on and fouled away. That one floated up at 97 kilometers an hour. The count remains at 2-2. Something I'll notice, or you notice today, is that Suzuki is wearing glasses on the hill. That is a no-no in North America. Pitchers are never wearing glasses. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder Imagawa, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Adachi for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Masataka Yoshida. For Yoshida, he's batting .316 on the year. He's got 14 homers and 60 runs batted in. Yoshida has been continuing to crawl up with the batting average numbers. He led the league a couple of years ago, and he's always among the leaders in the Pacific League with his batting average. Batting from the left side, hitting against the right-handed throwing Suzuki, and there's a 97-kilometer-an-hour fastball or changeup that floats up to the plate for strike 1, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. 2 players in this ball game. 1-2 in the league. Go Matsumoto leading the Pacific League in hitting, and Yoshida is number 2 as there's a fastball swung on it as pop foul behind home plate, but it's going to drift back into the seats, and that's going to run the count now to 0-2. I remember seeing a game or watching a game from this stadium last year, and it's a interesting looking park. As we said, there's no real cover for the stands around home plate and down the lines. There's no upper deck. It's just a sort of a old-fashioned bowl type stadium. As these 2 teams will be going at it here tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a different venue for tomorrow night's game. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. I'll have to do a double take on that. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. A good stop by the catcher Shimizu. So Suzuki rubs up the baseball, but the wind is brisk. You can see the players' jerseys are flying all over the place. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Suzuki rocks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm going to say the home plate umpire, based on the angles we're getting here, is really tight to the pitcher, Suzuki. As now he rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on it as pop foul. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. It keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Masataka Yoshida. Suzuki rocking into the windup. He goes back into the motion. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses down and away. The count is now 3-2 to Yoshida. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Yoshida digs himself in, waiting on the offering here from the righty Suzuki, who rocks into the motion. And he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and that's going to be ball 4. That's going to give Yoshida a 2-out walk, as he is aboard here for the first runner of the ball game, and that's going to bring up Kai Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, he's hitting .303 on the season. He's got a couple of homers and 39 runs batted in. He does not have enough qualifying at-bats yet to be considered into the league leaders, although his .303 average would suggest some more at-bats, he will probably be among those. Not too many players in the Pacific League that have been hitting north of 300. For the longest time, it's been Yoshida and Matsumoto. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakagawa moved down into the cleanup spot today as Sugimoto is not in the lineup. And here comes the 0-1 offering as Suzuki holds set. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. My friend Breathe Deep says over or under in this 5.5 in this game. It's a good question. The conditions that they're playing in today could turn ugly. And so being that it's a neutral site game, it's kind of a toss-up in the air here. It might be something that could end up going over in a hurry. And there's a fastball swung on it as line foul down the right field line. It's going to keep the count at 0-2. It is very blustery conditions, lots of wind. As we said, there is rain in the forecast for the area tonight, so we may not be in perfect conditions, so it'll be interesting to see how that will play out. Suzuki now works set. And he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to do it here for Nakagawa. He is gone down on strikes for out number 3. Well, there were no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There were no errors, and there was one runner left the board. We are now through a half inning. It is the Buffaloes no score. The Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being here. It is going to be the bottom of the first inning after this. Welcome back, everybody. The right-hander Taisuke Yamaoka is on the hill completing his warm-up tosses, and he's ready to get this one back underway. This will be the top of the order coming up to face him in Yudai Furukawa, Daigo Kamikawa, and Kensuke Kondo, the 1-2-3 hitters in the Fighters order. We are giving you some early action tonight in the NPB, and we're going to resume it again tomorrow, as both of these two teams will go head-to-head. Yet again, same time, same location, and same channel on your YouTube dial. So hopefully you guys can make it back in again for another night of baseball. So Furukawa steps to the plate. He's batting .200 on the year. He's got no homers and 1 run batted in. As the right-hander goes into the motion and delivers, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. Furukawa batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Yamaoka, who kicks and delivers. That's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. Friend Crimestein is in the house tonight, living room as well. We welcome everybody in for all the action. So here comes the 1-1 offering as Yamaoka kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is looped into deep left field. Racing back, it's over the head of the left fielder, Nakagawa. Over the fielder, Nakagawa, it's up against the wall. And cruising into second with a leadoff double here is Furukawa. I wonder if that ball looked like it got caught up into the wind and went for a bit of a ride, because Nakagawa really had a long ways to go to get it. So he goes the other way and hits the ball right over the left fielder's head. It was one bounce to the wall. And now he is on second with nobody out. That's going to bring up Kamikawa to the plate. Well, for Kamikawa, he is batting .276 on the year. He's got a couple of homers and 13 RBIs. He gets the nod tonight at shortstop. He did game on the weekend. He was in the lineup as well, but he was in the top spot in the batting order. So we had to do a double take on that one. He also was the second baseman on the weekend's game that we saw. So here comes the first offering from the right-hander Yamaoka. Kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Kamikawa Kabata batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Yamaoka, who holds set at the belt. He checks the runner. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Just a couple of programming notes. As we said, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow with the same 2 ball clubs. And then on Wednesday, it's the Dodgers and the Brewers. We're going to add that one into the schedule. And then on Thursday, right now, tentatively, we have Yankees Athletics, but that one may get pulled. There's a breaking ball swung on it, missed. Actually, it's been fouled off here by the shortstop, as that wasn't been able to hang. The catcher wasn't able to hang on. That was Wakatsuki. It keeps the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Then we're going to have a couple of days off, as we'll be in transit for a bit. And then we're going to try to post up and see what kind of schedule we're going to have from the East Coast. Maybe be able to give a few games, but not a full slate of stuff. That's going to depend on the jet lag. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kamikawa Kabata has now reset himself back in the batter's box, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. As Yamaoka holds set, he checks the runner. And now he kicks and delivers, and swearing to bunt was Kamikawa Kabata with 2 strikes on him, but he pulls back. It's going to run the count to 2-2. Very interesting here that they're going to try to drop bunts down with 2 strikes on him. He's just basically got to get a roll over to the right side will get that runner over to third. They're concerned about playing for 1 run here. Yamaoka on the season has had a pretty good year. His record is 500 at 6-6, but as far as his numbers are concerned, his hits and his walks, very, very tight. So here comes the 2-2 offering as the right-hander holds set. He checks the runner, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and his tap foul over on the first base side. Keeps the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend in the living room asked the question, where are we going? Yeah, well, we got to get through Thursday first. Every day this week, it's got to be one of those things. We're just going to have to keep chipping away. Got a lot of space on the in-between. It'll be Seattle, then Detroit, and then Windsor, Ontario. So here we go. Here comes the 2-2. As the right-hander holds, he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul down the first base line. That's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Kamikawa Kabata is giving a battle here to Yamaoka. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up, as the right-hander has now had to work a little bit here against the left-handed hitting shortstop of the Fighters. He waggles the bat, and waiting on the offering here from Yamaoka. Is holding set. He checks the runners. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to first. That is fielded by the first baseman, Tongu, who steps on the bag. It's going to advance Furukawa over to third. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. And now it's going to bring up the left fielder, Kensuke Kondo. Well, for Kondo on the season, he's batting .301. He's got 5 homers and 32 RBIs. My friend Ruben Hogan pops in and he says, who's batting right now? It's the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters are up to bat. It's in the bottom of the first inning. I do have to switch around my banner on this on the board as well. So there you have it there. So bottom of the first inning. So Kondo batting from the left side. 3 left-handed hitters so far to come to the plate. Fighters in this half inning. They're waiting. He waits on the offering here from Yamaoka, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a call and strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Kondo. Our friend the living room says, how long is it a flight from Seattle to Detroit? Going west to east, it's less. Going east to west, it's longer. It's almost a 5-hour flight going Detroit to Seattle. But I want to say it's about 4:35 or so going the other way. I have to double check my flight times. And here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Living Room says he takes longer to go to Seattle because of some kind of jet stream. That's exactly what it is. The westerlies will get behind you and push you, and going the other way, you're flying into the wind. So it's about 25 minutes to a half-hour difference. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yamaoka holds set. And he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. One thing I didn't do this evening was get myself updated on all the Major League Baseball action, as there were games all over the big leagues this evening. I'll take a peek in at some of that stuff. Not a full slate, but 9 of the games, 18 teams of the 30 playing tonight across Major League Baseball. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As Kondo gets himself dug in. As he waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Yamaoka, who holds set, takes the breath, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Quaff says he needs 3 more outs from the Marlins. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Kensuke Kondo. We haven't called a lot of fighters games this year. They are cemented in last place in the Pacific League at 44, 66, and 2. The Buffaloes are at 59 and 55. We've seen quite a few of their games. They are the defending Pacific League champions, but are currently out of the playoff spot. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 3-2. Looks like it's going to be one of those days, as the home plate umpire has not been very favorable to either of the pitchers today. Buffaloes definitely wanted that call, but it did look like it was a little down. Buffaloes are the only team in the NPB that does not have a tie this year. Everybody else has at least one. The Hiroshima Toyo Carp and the Saitama Cebu Lions have 3 ties each. That is the most, of course, compared to last year, where games would end after 9 innings. There was all kinds of ties. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line, and it's going to get to the bullpen on the third base line or left field line. It's going to keep the count at 3-2. The bullpen is on the field. Kind of old school, as we said. The stadium that they're playing at tonight, it's kind of a neat venue. It's just a lower bowl. It is something that we would, when you think about it, when you would compare it to, say, stadiums in North America, I wouldn't even put it in the class of a AAA stadium. Maybe AA would be more along the lines, but it's a cozy venue. The crowd has sitting out. There's no real seating in places in the outfield, in left center field and in center field. It's sort of a grass berm, and there is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Kondo is retired on strikes for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to Go Matsumoto. Well, Matsumoto, the Pacific leader in batting average, comes to the plate. He's hitting .356 with 3 homers and 31 RBIs. Ready to face the left-handed hitting Matsumoto, or the right-handed throwing Yamaoka. As he waggles the bat, he's ready here to get the offering from the right-hander Yamaoka, who holds set. And he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses inside for ball 1. The count is 1-0, so 1 ball and no strikes. Right-handed hitter waggling the bat. Waiting here on the offering from the righty Yamaoka. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. I wonder if they're even going to give anything good for Matsumoto to hit. They might want to consider putting the bat into Imagawa's hands and letting him do the work as he waits his turn on deck. So waggling the bat is Matsumoto. And here comes the offering from Yamaoka, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball. Swung on it, is lifted into shallow right center field. Moving back on it is Adachi, but calling him off is the right fielder Oda, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it. Well, the Fighters strand a runner. A leadoff double by Yudai Furukawa goes for naught. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and one runner left aboard. We're now through one complete. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters nothing, the Orix Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the second inning, and coming to bat for the Buffaloes will be Yuma Tongu, and Yuya Oda to face the right-hander Kenya Suzuki, who had a pretty easy first inning. So it'll be the Mune, Tongu, and Oda show here. The wind is really, really blustery, as we said. Curious to see if we're going to be able to get this one all in. They are calling for rain. And you can see that the clouds are moving in and around the area. So rain is in the forecast. We'll see how long they're going to play through this at all here tonight. Normally, the Fighters play their home games at the Sapporo Dome, but as we mentioned before, this game is at the Kashiro Citizen Stadium, where they are playing outdoors in this one here. And here comes the first offering to Yuma Mune, as it is a fastball that just misses off the outside corner for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Mune on the year, he's batting .271 with 3 homers and 34 runs batted in. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left center field. Racing over and making the catch is the left fielder, Kensuke Kondo. He had to get on his horse and get into the gap and was able to haul that one in. Imagawa was racing as well, but he took the inside route. Center fielder took the outside route, and he was the one who made the grab. So nice job there by the defense. That's 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up Yuma Tongu to the plate. For Tongu on the season, he's hitting .225. He's got 5 homers and 16 RBIs. He steps up batting from the right side against the right-hander Suzuki, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Here's Suzuki back to work again, and it's a 99 kilometer an hour changeup that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Suzuki now kicks and delivers. It is a changeup that is swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2. He's got a couple of speeds, Suzuki. That's slow and slower. He is definitely not overpowering by any stretch. I haven't seen him throw anything much faster than about 134 kilometers an hour as the sidewinding right-hander goes back to work, and he kicks and delivers. That is a changeup swung on and fouled away, and the count is going to remain at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tongu. Again, Suzuki makes his sign. The wind is unbelievable. We were just watching. You got some trees in the background, and it is just blowing like crazy. There's a fastball that misses down. And the count is now 2-2. If there's going to be something in this game that's going to create, there's going to be something that won't show up in the box score, and that's going to be the havoc that the wind will play if there's balls in flight. As we mentioned, that first at bat on the double, or the leadoff double by Furukawa on the bottom of the first inning, it was a wind-aided ball. Here comes the ball that swung on its pop foul, but it's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. That's going to keep the count at 2-2. But I can just see in this game something weird happening where the ball goes up in the air, and the next thing you know, it's going to be taken for a ride and or drops down or it blows away from the fielder. I haven't seen anything yet, but stay tuned. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tongu. The right-hander leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher, Shimizu. Now he rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side. Racing over is the catcher, and that's going to be Shimizu, who's going to haul it in. As the third baseman was also moving in on that one, and that was Shimizu who ends up making the play. And so that is going to retire Tongu for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the right fielder, Yuya Oda. Well, for Oda, he's batting 143. He's got a homer and a couple RBIs. Getting into the bottom third of the batting order for the Buffaloes. As Oda steps to the plate, batting left-handed against the right-handed sidewinder of the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on it as lined right back through the middle. It's going to be a base hit. As Oda is aboard here with a single for the Buffaloes, and that's going to bring Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate. Well, similar pattern as the first 2 outs of the inning were recorded, and then in the first inning, it was a walk to Masataka Yoshida. In this inning here, the first 2 outs were recorded and a base hit by Yuya Oda. So the right-hander Suzuki is struggling to put that third out away in order. So Oda gets his lead over at first base. And here comes the pitch from Suzuki. It is 111 an hour breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I say kilometer per hour because that's probably in the neighborhood with some quick math of about 67 miles an hour. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. And instead, Suzuki steps off and fakes the throw over to first base. Getting back easily is the runner Oda. And I would think with Suzuki here on the mound, I would have to say that I would probably be wanting to challenge to run on him because he's just the speed of his pitch. He is quick to the plate. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined down the left field line. It's going to get into the corner. It's going to run the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. I would say that the configuration of the field is also interesting too, because when you look into the left field corner, it's rather rounded, especially in foul territory side. Some of the stadiums, you'll see that where the seating is that it's a lot of space between home plate and third base dugouts or first base dugouts. But down the left field line here, there's a lot of real estate, and it sort of rounds off into the corner where sometimes down the lines, the stands are right up pretty close to the field, especially in certain parts where you think of the PayPay Dome, where it juts out and you're right on top of the play. There's only maybe a good 6 feet or whatever that might be able to be the difference. So here we go. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. They throw over again to first base. So a little bit more real estate for the left fielders and the right fielders to operate, which could be a good thing. Again, as we see, when you look at the trees and the wind that's blowing, the trees are just, it looks like they're going to snap. There's not much wind that's happening here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Appreciate everybody for stopping in for some Monday Night Baseball or Tuesday Japan baseball style. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. There is a changeup that misses inside it. Max Kobayashi off the plate. The count is now 2-2. I also am curious to see how long they're going to go with Suzuki before they roll it over to the bullpen. He's 20 innings pitched this year on the season for the right-hander. It's his 15th appearance, so most of the stuff has been out of the bullpen. So he's getting the start here tonight. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And Kobayashi goes down on strikes for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. Well, there were no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and one runner left aboard. We're now through 1.5. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters nothing, and the Orix Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes after this with all the action. Glad you guys could be in here with us. Hang tight. Glad we could have him with us. Just a couple of news and notes. As we are watching this, it's been kind of fun the last little bit. And of course, through this year, we get a lot of folks that come in and are looking at the over and the unders and all the different things. We had an information sent out to us today about inquiring about some affiliate marketing. We won't say what website it is at this point in time for that. They're looking for some promo stuff and obviously to partner with them. I don't know if it's something that we would go with at this particular time, but we're always going to keep our eyes and ears open, and it's probably the future of where we will end up going. And so we are going to see the hitters here in the order. It's going to be the 5, 6, and 7. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move along here. 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that home plate umpire said that Yuma Imagawa went around on, and the count is quickly 0-1. It's Imagawa, Kiyomiya, and Sato here to face the right-hander Yamaoka in the second inning. 21 pitches for the Orix right-hander in the first inning. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, from a left to right field, it is Kai Nakagawa in left. The center fielder is Shuhei Fukuda, and in right field, it is Yuya Oda. As the right-hander delivers a fastball that misses outside, the count's now 2-1. Around the horn from first to third, it is Yuma Tongu at first. Second baseman's Ryo Adachi, Kotaro Kobayashi at short, and Yuma Mune at third. As here's the 2-1 pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lined into left field. It's going to be a base hit for Imagawa. He's aboard with a leadoff single. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Kotaro Kiyomiya. And of course, the battery tonight for the Buffaloes is Yamaoka and Kenya Wakatsuki. So that is who they have here. Our living room is already trying to project what that might be. Well, it's not quite that. So the runner at first is Imagawa. It's going to be Kiyomiya stepping to the plate. For Kiyomiya on the year, he's hitting .211. He's got 13 homers and 32 RBIs. I'd be curious to see if any balls really get out of here tonight. Just with that amount of wind that's blowing around. And I don't know if it's swirling or not. As we said, the first one, in that first inning, the double by Furukawa, it looked like it was wind-aided over the head of the left fielder, Nakagawa. There's a breaking ball that misses for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Yamaoka holds set. Now he kicks and delivers, squaring to bunt is Kiyomiya, and he bunts through that one as he misses the pitch, and that count is now 1-1. Whatever it was, it looked like it brought some laughter in the dugout to the manager, the big boss. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Because he's chuckling after his own players in this one. I don't know if Kiyomiya is a player that will particularly bunt very often, because it sure didn't look like it there. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. As Yamaoka then throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Imagawa. So here comes the 1-1 offering as the lefty holds set, or the righty holds set. The lefty is waggling at the bat. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I think the batter sure didn't agree with that. As I said, the home plate umpire so far for this one here, he's been a bit erratic, and it's not been for one team. It's been for both teams. So this game could be an adventure here tonight. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on its tap foul over on the third base side. Keeps the count at 1-2. So that's another piece sometimes we talk through the games about certain pieces about, how guys will come in and how they'll, when you're in baseball, it is so challenging to bet, especially because once you get through the starting pitchers, you get into the bullpens, how the bullpens are used, knowing a little bit of history about the bullpens, their usage, especially the last 3 or 4 games, I think impacts stuff. In the Japanese league, you don't know your starting lineup till an hour or so before the game at the earliest. As a fastball swung on and fouled away, it's going to keep the count at 1-2 on Kiyomiya. It was a pretty defensive swing there by the left-handed hitting first baseman as he slaps it away. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just being able to project, trying to get a rhythm, trying to get a feel. That's even changed a lot in Major League Baseball, where you could go back in the day, 30 years ago, a starting pitcher would be insulted if he came out before the seventh inning. I just remember Jim Palmer was telling a story about Milt Pappas when he pitched. They used to refer to him as a 5 and a fly guy. If he had 5 innings under his belt, and if he had the lead, he'd want to come out because he knew he had the lead. If he was tied or if he was losing, he would want to stay in battle. But now it's pretty much commonplace where people are gone by the 6th inning, or after 6 innings, the starter's done. It's a rarity, guys, that are going beyond 6. Here comes the 1-2 pitch now to Kiyomiya. Right-hander Yamaoka delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Kiyomiya. The runner at first is Imagawa. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The fighters are batting here, and we have a 0-0 scoreline so far. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Yamaoka, who delivers a breaking ball. It is swung on. It is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in on it is Nakagawa toward the foul line, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Kiyomiya. He's gone for the first out of the inning, so that'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Ryushi Sato. Well, for Sato on the year, he's hitting 141. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs as he comes up to face Yamaoka for the first time tonight. So one thing that I look at certainly in the Japanese league is how they use their players, how they are able to use their bench, how they use the depth of the farm team, moving guys up and down and around and about. Obviously, like any other team, there are injuries that will besiege teams, and they have to manage around it. But how they manage their players over a 6-day playing week, as a fastball misses down and the count is 1-0. Who gets the days off, when they get the day off? I mean, Sugimoto is not in the lineup tonight. And he had yesterday off to begin with. Do we get the knocks? It's the other thing is, do you always get an injury report, or do you get what's being picked up on internationally? And that's the hardest thing to do. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. Injury reports are definitely a part of making decisions when you have to put your money down and you're making your bets and you're making your calls. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Sato. The right-hander Yamaoka holds set. Now he's ready to deliver again as the 1-1's on its way. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Sato. Another thing is when you think about some of we talk about the injuries, the niggling injuries more importantly than anything else. I remember years ago when Nelson Cruz was with the Seattle Mariners, and he led the league, or at one point, or was leading the league in getting hit by pitches. And they asked Nelson Cruz how he was able to stay in the lineup. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field and moving over and moving toward the line and making the catch is the right fielder Oda, and that's going to retire Sato. He had to come a long way, and the wind just kept pulling it in. You can see the wind is now changed its direction. It's blowing from left center field towards the first base dugout in that area there, and he had to come a long way. And was able to pull that one in for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Yushi Shimizu. Well, for Shimizu on the year, he's hitting 128 with no homers and 1 RBI. As he waits here on the offering from the righty, and he delivers a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Shimizu. So the right-handed hitter is waiting on the offering from the right-handed thrower who kicks and delivers. It is a line drive up the middle. It's going to be a base hit for Shimizu. Stopping at second base is the runner Imagawa, and that's going to put 2 runners aboard with 2 out. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Kenji Sugatani. So runners now at first and second with 2 gone. And Sugatani comes to the plate. Well, for Sugatani, he's hitting 188 on the year. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. Again, look at the bottom third of the batting order for the Fighters. Some pretty ugly batting averages with guys with limited playing time. So coming off the weekend, and not just that, even the top of the order for Furukawa, he hasn't played a whole lot either. So 5 guys with regular action and 4 players that are maybe not playing as regular. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So when you're making your decisions, you've got a B lineup here for the Fighters, at least offensively. How's that going to play out? Too many wild cards to make your decisions. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. And they play in this neutral site venue. You think about some parks, though, they have the park effects in Major League Baseball. If you're playing at Wrigley Field or if you're playing in Boston at Fenway Park, they have the park effects. Well, the same would hold true here. You've got different parks. They would have their nuances, how they score the runs. Here's a pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So Yamaoka ready to go again as he works set. Left-handed hitting. A second baseman ready here to get the offering from the right-hander Yamaoka. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Sugatani, who bats from the left side, waiting here on the offering from Yamaoka, who holds set. And here comes the offering. It's the 2-2 pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And Sugatani is retired on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Fighters, they threaten, but they don't score. There were no runs in the inning. There were 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 2 complete innings. It is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 3rd inning after this when we return. Appreciate you guys for being here. Sam K comes into the house. He says, who's winning this one? Just take a look at the ticker across the bottom of your screen, and you'll know exactly what the score is. We'll be right back in just a moment, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the 3rd inning. It's going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Buffaloes. That means Kenya Wakatsuki, and then the top of the order is Shuhei Fukuda and Ryo Adachi to face the right-hander Kenya Suzuki, who is on for his 3rd inning of work. So far tonight for Suzuki, he's been fairly efficient. We do have a pattern developing here as he's been able to retire the first 2 outs of each inning, and then he starts to get himself into a little bit of trouble. So we'll see if that pattern continues. If he's going to be able to break that here. So Wakatsuki steps to the plate. He's hitting .323 on the year with 4 homers and 10 RBIs, batting in the 9 spot. against the right-hander Suzuki, who kicks and delivers. As he squares to bunt, he ends up pulling back and taking the pitch, which was a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Wakatsuki. Right-hander rocking into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say Wakatsuki didn't go, and the count's now 1-1. The field is turf at this stadium, at the Kashiro Citizen Stadium. There are dirt cutouts around the bases, and of course, around home plate, it is also dirt. And there's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-2 to Wakatsuki. As we mentioned before, some of the nuances of the stadium is a lot of real estate all the way down the left field line, and right field line for that matter. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Suzuki. It's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. But the game changer in this one tonight will probably be the wind. As I mentioned today, it's got a very blustery wind that's been blowing from left field or left center field across to right. The trees in the background are blowing like mad. There's a fastball swung on. It's a check swing. That's lifted foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So breathe deep, asked the question. He goes over under at 4.5. Well, I still think in this one here, it's probably going to be north of that 4.5. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to third. It is fielded neatly by the third baseman, Sato, when he throws it away. That ball gets down the right field line, and moving into second base is going to be the batter runner, Wakatsuki. That's going to put him at second base on the error by the third baseman. And so that's the first error of the ball game as Sato threw that one away. That should have been out number 1. So just as the pitcher induced a ground ball, Sato ends up throwing a ground ball over to first. And unable to come up with it was the first baseman, Kiyomiya. That ball got away. Nice job by the second baseman, Sigatani, to be able to back up the play. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. We've got Brent Oliver in the house here tonight. Welcome, Brent. Thanks for stopping in. If you're new to the channel here, be sure to hit the bookmark so you can check us out in the future. We'll be back on again tomorrow night with the same 2 ball clubs. Same time, same channel. Suzuki does the inside move and fakes the throw to second base, and getting back is the runner, Wakatsuki. So Suzuki gets the sign from his catcher, Shimizu, and he comes set. He checks the runner and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-0 to Fukuda. So 1 ball and no strikes. Fukuda batting from the left side. He chokes up on the bat, and now time is called. As the batter has stepped out, takes a couple of practice swings. I think the Buffaloes here, if they're playing for a run, they would consider bunting here in this situation. They've got the speedy leadoff hitter up here. It can run a little bit. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side. Coming in on it is Kiyomiya, and then he gives up on it, as did the catcher, and the ball ends up dropping foul over by the on-deck circle. Kiyomiya just stopped running. He was racing in, and all of a sudden he stopped running, and the catcher, Shimizu, he stopped running, and the ball falls in. No damage there. Won't be an error there, but again, we know that the wind is playing havoc, but both of those players need to do a better job being able to get to that ball. The count is now 1-1, and as they pan to the dugout, the manager, Shinjo, just shaking his head. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander Suzuki holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. Now they square to bunt. Now the bunt is down, and it's fielded by the catcher. They throw down to third, and the tag is applied to the runner at Wakatsuki trying to get into third base. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to retire Wakatsuki 2-5. So not a very good bunt. Not great base running either. And so Wakatsuki is retired for the first out. Fukuda is going to be at first safely. So that's going to be one out, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Ryo Adachi. And what was even more interesting is the catcher, Wakatsuki, the base runner, the catcher, he ended up sliding about 3 feet short of the base. And then when he popped to his feet, he tried to dance around the third baseman, who ultimately applied the tag. We got Mick in the house again tonight. Welcome back, Mick. Here's the first pitch to the right-handed hitting Adachi, and it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Adachi 0 for 1 tonight. He flew up to center field his first time up. So now they're in a little bit better position, are the Fighters, with the runner at first and 1 out, as opposed to the runner at third and 1 out. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. One thing that we don't always say to our group that's listening in here, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for us. It helps us out on the channel. It'd be much appreciated if you all did that as well. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. Or the thumbs down if you don't like what's going on. Either way, we're okay either way with that. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. It's going to be a base hit for Adachi. Stopping at second is going to be Fukuda. That's going to put the Buffaloes with runners at first and second with 1 gone, and it's going to bring up the dangerous Masataka Yoshida to the plate. Well, for Yoshida, he's had 1 plate appearance tonight. He's walked in his first time up. He was stranded at first to end the first inning. Our friend, the living room, too focused on 989. Well, got a way to go on that one. It's like a race to the 1,000 mark. I'll have to try to put together some more content for tomorrow in the early part. So here comes Yoshida to the plate, facing the right-hander Suzuki for the second time. And the first pitch is a changeup that floats across at 112 kilometers an hour for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. This looks like it's wiffle ball, but the ball just sort of floats up there. You're really going to have to stay back as the hitter. It's hard when you're facing somebody who could throw 90-plus miles an hour, and then you get this fellow who's throwing muffins to the plate. But he has been throwing strikes, and he's been able to keep the Buffaloes off balance. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count now is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Yoshida digs himself back in, waiting here on the offering from Suzuki. Suzuki holds set. Looks like they're going to come inside. Now the catcher bounces outside, and it's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. I have to say, the catcher, Shimizu, he really bounces around back behind the plate. With the runners at first and second, you can't really tell if the base runner is signaling to the hitter where the catcher is lined up to, or certainly what the pitch may be. Sometimes see that happening. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Suzuki holds set. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2 to Yoshida. Won't get any easier for Suzuki as Kai Nakagawa waits on deck. They're getting right into the heart of the batting order here for the Orix Buffaloes. As we said, I'd be curious to see what kind of lifeline Suzuki is going to get here, how long that the big boss is going to stay with him. And here comes the 2-2. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buffaloes will play this set here against the Fighters tonight. As we mentioned, tomorrow, another early start, rare afternoon baseball in the NPB. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. We look at the upcoming schedule. Yes, tonight, this game here, as we said, being played at the Kashira, but tomorrow it's another location. I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be playing tomorrow night, but it's another neutral site game, different spot. Here comes the 3-2. Runners are on the go. There's a fastball that misses down. That's going to be ball 4 as Yoshida's drawn himself a walk, and that's going to load the bases full of Buffaloes. Fukuda goes over to third. Adachi goes to second. Yoshida goes to first on the walk, his second of the ball game. That's going to load it up for Kai Nakagawa. Well, our friend Breathe Deep was asking earlier on, he says, do you think it's going to be the over on the 6.5? And then it dropped to 5.5. And I still think it's going to go north because I just really don't like the way that this pitching is shaping up here for the Fighters. So that loads the bases with 1 out. As Kai Nakagawa is coming to the plate, but the Fighters had a visit from the pitching coach as the conference is now broken up on the mound. So I'm curious to see exactly where the ball games are going to be played here in the next couple of days, or at least what the park's going to look like tomorrow night. The Hanshin Tigers and the Central League are playing their home game in this series against the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars at the Kyocera Dome. This is the time of the year where the Koshin Stadium, they have to take their 3-week road trip, or so to speak. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is 0-1. Every year, the Koshin Stadium becomes the home venue for the high school tournament, the big high school tournament held in Japan annually. So the Tigers go on their road trip. I say road trip. They do play home games in Osaka, but they're playing their home games at the ballpark where the Orix Buffaloes call their home, at the Kyocera Dome. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. That's going to run the count now to 0-2 on Nakagawa. So the Buffaloes are threatening here. They've got the bases loaded with 1 out. It's 0-2 here to Nakagawa. They're looking to break the ice and put some runs on the board. And the sidewinder Suzuki was very lucky on that last pitch. They had sent up outside. He had completely missed his spot. That came middle into Nakagawa, and he was able to hit that ball but he pulled it foul. There's a fastball that misses outside. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say Nakagawa didn't go, and the count's now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend on Twitch jumps in here, and he's asking, what inning are we in? Well, the inning goes across the bottom, so you can be able to see that there. Our friend Mick says who's winning. Again, the score is across the bottom of the ticker. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into right field. Moving back underneath it is the right fielder who makes the catch. Here comes the tag at third. They're heading to the plate. The throw is in time, and it's going to nail Shuhei Fukuda at the plate. It's going to be a double play. A great throw by the right fielder, Furukawa. And that is going to end the inning here. It's going to go down as a putout of 9-2 as Fukuda is gunned down for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the third. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was an error. And there was 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 2.5. It is the Orix Buffaloes no score, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are now moving to the bottom of the third inning. It's going to be the top of the order. It'll be Yudai Furukawa, Daigo Kamikawa Kibata, and Kensuke Kondo here to face the right-hander Taisuke Yamaoka. It was that great throw by Furukawa that ended that last inning. The first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Furukawa tonight is 1 for 1. He doubled to lead off the ball game. He was stranded at third back in the first inning. A fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-1. The impressive part about that Furukawa throw, it wasn't even a one-hopper to the plate. He threw that ball from right field right on the fly, right to the catcher, who had to go and chase Fukuda a little bit. As the breaking ball misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's the offering from Yamaoka. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander goes back to work and delivers. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Furukawa goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 fighter up and 1 fighter away, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Daigo Kamikawa Kibata. So for Kamikawa Kibata tonight, he is 0 for 1. He has grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. And here comes the first offering from Yamaoka. It's a fastball that just misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kamikawa Kibata, I think from the left side, his average is dipped to 275 on the year. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As the right-hander holds set, now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-1. As we mentioned, this is the only game going on in the NPB at this time tonight. Early start here today and early start tomorrow. And I think another reason why we've got ourselves a day game, as here comes the offering. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and it counts 3-2. I haven't looked for sure, but I don't think this stadium, I think this is your modern day Wrigley Field. I don't think there's any lights here. Hence the early start on a midweek game. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Then there's a fella in the stands who brought his glove who makes a good catch. As he leans in and catches that line drive. Got to be prepared. As he gets a round of applause from the fighter faithful. There's a fastball swung on. It is tapped up the middle. Kobayashi fields it on the run. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Kamikawa Kibata on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. That's going to bring up Kensuke Kondo. We have our friend Seabeck 430430 was listening in on Twitch. And all I would say to you is make sure that you're listening to what's going on in the game, because he's asking, is there anybody on base? Is there anybody out? Well, we got 2 gone here in the bottom of the third inning. And here's the offering from the righty who kicks and delivers. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So 2 hitters have come to the plate, and 2 have been retired in succession here by Yamaoka. As he gets the sign from the catcher, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes even to Kondo at 1-1. Kondo 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Ready to get the offering here from Yamaoka as he holds set. And now he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that swung on. It's grounded over to first. That's a foul ball, says the first base umpire. Nice job there by Tongu, who was able to get over and make the play, but just a little bit to the wrong side of the foul line. That's going to run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tongu is listed as a catcher. We've seen him catch a few times. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Jake Marsh asked the question. The over-under is at 3.5 right now. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. Are these pitchers that good? I don't think the pitcher for the Fighters is very good. He's a sidewinding right-hander who's hardly thrown anything much more than 80 miles an hour tonight at best. As here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Yamaoka strikes out Kondo to end the inning, and they go quietly to the Fighters here in their half of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 3 complete. It is the Fighters no score, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll come back and chat with our chat after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Buffaloes coming to bat here in the top of the 4th inning, and it'll be Yuma Mune, Yuma Tongu, and Yuya Oda to face the right-hander Kenya Suzuki. Suzuki so far has worked 3 innings. He's only allowed a couple of hits. There is a little bit of stirring down in the bullpen for the Fighters. I would anticipate that he's going to have a short leash, as he has not made many starts at all this year. One would think that the Fighters will be moving to the bullpen fairly quickly. Amazing that he's been able to keep the Buffaloes off the scoreboard, especially in that last inning where the Buffaloes loaded the bases with nobody out. And then it was they loaded the bases. They had 1 out as the Wakatsuki was retired on the sacrifice bunt. Not to cash any runs in that inning should be criminal, or at least for the Buffaloes. They should be held accountable for that. So Mune steps to the plate. He entered the ballgame hitting at .271 tonight with the 3 homers and 34 RBIs. He's 0 for 1 as he flew out to left field. Home plate umpire is up doing a little bit of maintenance on the ground over there by the batter's box as Mune gets himself dug in. Now he's put the ball into play. So here we are ready to go. Suzuki gets the sign from his catcher, and he rocks into the motion. And he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is taken for a ball outside. The count is 1-0. The home plate umpire has been very weird tonight. That last particular one, he kind of stood up like he was giving it the strike call, and no right hand to go with it. Now there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1 to Mune. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Jake Marsh asked the question in the last half inning. He says, over-under is 3.5 right now. Are these pitchers that good? I don't think they are. That's the part that's unbelievable. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count goes to 3-1. It's a bit of a Houdini act here for the right-hander Suzuki. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 3-2 on Mune. Suzuki at 58 pitches through the first 3 innings. As I figured, maybe once he gets in around the 80 to 90 pitch mark, his night might be over. So will he sniff the 5th inning? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. And then it'll turn into the battle of the bullpens. That's where the games get exciting. That's where the roll of the dice is, and you're not really sure. So here comes the offering from the righty. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball's belted into deep right field. Racing back. This ball's going to be off the wall. Mune digging around first, heading for second, and he's going to cruise in with a double. As Mune has got himself a double here to lead off the 4th inning, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. Our friend Kill Flams says, how can we watch? Well, I guess the question is where are you located? What country are you in? And we can give you some advice. We don't post the links. We can give you some guidance on maybe how to go and pick it up and to watch it. And then what a lot of people do is they like to tune it in. They'll do the English feed and the game they'll be able to watch. Hopefully you'll be able to find that too. So that will give us an idea of where you're at. And then we can help you out from there. Kill Flames, I guess it is. So Tagu steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He popped to the catcher his first time up as he waits on the first offering, and he's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So our friend C. Beck says, and same thing, he says he's in the U.S., and Kill Flame says he's in the U.S. as well. So there's two ways in which you could do it. You can go to the Reddit page. If you're on Reddit, go to the NPB Reddit. They have a list of links over there. Another one you can do is you can Google. If you guys all know how to use Google, here comes the 1-0 pitch. The pitch is a fastball that comes in and hits the batter Tongu, so that's going to put runners at first and second. So runners at first and second, and Oda will come to the plate. The other thing you can do is you can go to Google and you can Google Live QQ. And once you get to that website, well, then you're going to have to do some searching because you're going to see some Chinese characters. So you're going to have to use the translate feature if you have that, the Google Translate. And they'll be able to get you to the feed. But you're going to have to do a little bit of navigating on that page. I can't help you do it, but I can at least lead you to it. So let us know if there's some problems. Some of the guys in here might be able to help you out as that moves along. So we've got runners at first and second, nobody out, and Yuya Oda stepping to the plate. This is the second time in as many innings that Suzuki's getting himself into trouble. And you have to wonder how this is going to happen. So make sure, Kill Flames, if you're around, we're going to be back here again tomorrow night, and you're more than welcome to come back again. And we have a pretty good crowd in here. Same thing with Seaback, who's on Twitch listening in. Rob B is in the house tonight. Welcome to him as well. So the runner at second is Mune. The runner at first is Tongu. Oda steps to the plate, who's 1 for 1 tonight. Bats from the left side. And here comes the pitch. He squares to bunt, and he pops it up. And it's over on the third base side, but it's not going to be able to be, play's not going to be able to be made by the third baseman, Sato, as it drops in. That's going to be strike one. So very fortunate for Oda. This is what this game has been all about tonight. It is a game of lost opportunity. Joseph Andrioni says that the Brewers won tonight. I was checking in on some of the scores earlier from Major League Baseball. Looks like all the scores are now finals across the MLB. So here's the 0-1 pitch, and he squares the bunt, but he pulls back, he swings. It's going to get down for a base hit into left field, and that is going to load the bases. So the Buffaloes have got a herd of runners on the base paths as Yoda has picked up his second base hit of the night. Mune advances to third. Tongu goes over to second. The Buffaloes have something brewing. It was a slash play as he was squaring to bunt. The third baseman was crashing in. He pulled back, and he ends up hitting a line drive past the shortstop into left field. So the bases are now full, and that brings up the shortstop, Kataro Kobayashi, to the plate. And it brings out the pitching coach again as they have a conference on the hill. Talk over what they're going to be doing here. So back-to-back innings where Suzuki has loaded the bases. The Buffaloes last inning weren't able to cash in. They're going to try to be able to punch at least one across here in this inning, if not more. So the Buffaloes looking to open up the scoring here as Kobayashi is waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Suzuki. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. And it looks like the rain is starting to cometh. So here's what's going to happen. Here's the fastball that misses outside for ball one. The count is 1-0. They did say that there was rain in the forecast. It's not really It does look like maybe it's more of a mist that's starting to float around a bit. So 1 ball and no strikes. I would assume they're going to try to get this game in as best they can. And here comes the 1-0. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. That pitch was so slow it didn't even register on the radar gun. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Kobayashi will be followed by the catcher, Wakatsuki. But right now, the eyes are all on Kentaro Kobayashi. 2 balls and no strikes. There's nowhere to put him as the bases are loaded. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Suzuki. The infield is in as the fighters are looking to cut the runoff at the plate. As they too figure this is going to be a tough ball game, but it's 3 balls and no strikes. If you're Kobayashi, you probably just plant the bat on the shoulder and take a couple of strikes here if you have to. And here's the 3-0. It's a fastball that comes across for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. So Suzuki has really had to work here in the 4th inning. Our friend Crown Clown is in. The score right now is 0-0, but this game here looks like it's ready to be blown apart. There's a fastball swung on and is popped up over on the first base side. Racing over is Kiyomiya, and he's going to make the catch in front of the first base dugout. That is going to retire Kobayashi for the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Oh, boy. Well, you can just see this coming. They load the bases with nobody out. There's the 2 worst things you could do is strike out or pop out. Well, the pop out happens because nothing has been put into play. And now you got the catcher coming to bat who doesn't run well and is a double play candidate. Now, they are concerned that possibly that there could be a squeeze situation here as Wakatsuki steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He reached on the error by the third baseman his first time up. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Suzuki. Suzuki checks the side, and now he kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So they've loaded the bases in back-to-back innings and have nothing to show for it yet to the Buffaloes. That wind is still blowing in from left center field across the diamond. Our friend Chris White says these guys are horrible with runners in scoring position. There's a fastball swung on. It's popped up over to the left side of the infield, moving over underneath it. But the infield fly rule is in effect, and Kamikawa Kabata has made the catch. And that is going to be 2 outs here. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. So these guys are absolutely hacks at the plate with the bases loaded. Can't get themselves a clutch hit. They couldn't even bunt the ball into a position where maybe they have a chance to score a run. But this is unreal. Bases loaded, back-to-back innings. As Fukuda steps to the plate, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he is grounded back to the pitcher. Talk about rally killers right here. So here comes the first offering from Suzuki, who holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Fukuda. So 1 ball and no strikes. Fukuda got the start in center field tonight. He entered the game hitting .271. His averages dropped below .270. He's got those no homers and 18 RBIs. And here's the pitch from Suzuki. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-0. Really, almost the best opportunity for offense here is just to put the bat on the shoulders and make the pitcher throw you strikes. Our friend Chris White says they couldn't hit a beach ball into the ocean. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. You summed it up right here. So 2 balls and no strikes to the Buffalo center fielder. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. And One would think after this half inning, we're going to see a steady parade of pitchers out of the Fighters bullpen. If Suzuki's able to wiggle his way out of this one. So here comes the offering. It is a fastball that, is called. Take it for a called strike. There you go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We talked about this in the first inning. The erratic calls of the home plate umpire. That pitch there, I'm not a fan of the Buffaloes or of the Fighters either way. That pitch was definitely down, and the home plate umpire went up with the right hand. You could see that the hitter, Fukuda, turned away in disgust. He couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it either. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Suzuki's getting some help here from the home plate umpire. Here comes the 2-2. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to do it here as Fukuda goes down on strikes for out number 3. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. Well, they threatened, but they don't score. There were no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left the board. They've left 7 on through the first 4 innings. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back with the call at the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 0 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you there, Matt, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Matt Hollis. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this with the call at the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's going to be the heart of the Fighters batting order coming to hit here. It'll be Go Matsumoto, Yuma Imagawa, and Katara Kiyomiya to face the right-hander Taisuke Mayoka, who kicks and delivers. It's a first pitch breaking ball that misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Matsumoto 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to right field his first time up. Our friend Joseph says, no way they had bases loaded and didn't score back-to-back innings. I wonder what the odds on that would be. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-1. They load the bases in that last half inning, did the Buffaloes, with nobody out, and couldn't cash a run across the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Matsumoto. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside. Count is now 2-1. Our friend Chris says that's why they play in Japan and not in the USA. Well, there's some merit to some of that. There's a fastball swung on and his line fouled down the right field line, and the count is now going to go to 2-2. One of the things, and I'll touch on that with Chris White making that statement, when you actually look at the Japanese league, they limit the amount of import players that can play. And you think of in the North American game in MLB, you have your Dominicans, you've got your Mexicans, you got your Venezuelans, your Puerto Ricans, everybody all over the map, Canadians that are all a part of Major League Baseball. And there's a breaking ball that comes inside and hits Matsumoto. He's going to be aboard. So he's been hit by the pitch, so that's going to put him on as the leadoff. So that's going to put Matsumoto aboard, and that'll bring Yuma Imagawa to the plate. For Imagawa, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled in his only trip to the dish. So back to what Chris White was saying about why they play in Japan, you could say something similar where as if the North Americans were not bringing in the import players, and if they limited to only 3 players on a major league roster at one time, the quality of the baseball would really drop off in the United States. You wouldn't have some of those guys as well, but there'd be more Americans playing at the top flight of the game, and certainly for the development of baseball in Japan, they want to try to get as many Japanese players on, but it does lessen the quality. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded down the left field line. It's into the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Rounding second and heading to third is Matsumoto. The throw is not going to be in time, but they've got the runner up between first and second as Imagawa has got himself in a pickle. He's in the rundown, and he's been tagged out. He was heading over to second base, and he was poor base running by Imagawa. As they ended up getting him caught in the rundown between first and second, they end up getting him thrown out. So That's going to go down. Nice heads-up play by the third baseman, Yuma Mune. As the throw came in from the left fielder, it'll be 7-5. And then the rest of the scoring after that will have to pick up for you if you're keeping it at home. So a single for Imagawa, and then he's going to be erased on a circus act as we get everything else. The left fielder throws it into the third baseman, so it goes 7-5 to 3-6. To retire Imagawa for the first out of the inning, and the first pitch delivered for Kotaro Kiyomiya is taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So the Buffaloes are playing the infield in as they're looking to cut the run off at the plate. So we've got one out here in the fourth inning. And here comes the pitch from the righty, as it is a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul. And the first base side of the count is now 1-1. Our friend Crown Clown says, who do you think will win tonight? Well, if you would have asked me at the start of the ball game, I would have said two things, the over and the Buffaloes. If you would have told me that the Buffaloes would have loaded the bases in the third and the fourth inning and not scored a run with less than 2 out, I would have laughed at you. But that's exactly what's happened tonight. I've been able to cash in on their opportunities. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So our friend Trevor Parker jumps in, and he says, yeah, he thinks that the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters are going to win the ball game here tonight. Joseph says, how do you feel about the Yankees winning 2 straight against Manoah and Scherzer? Well, maybe the Yankees are starting to get back on track because there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's now 3-1 to Kiyomiya. So 3 balls and 1 strike as Yamaoka gets a visit from the first baseman. Tongu, who comes in, has something to say. So that's the part of Japanese baseball. I think one thing I will say about Japanese baseball versus, for example, Major League Baseball, I kind of compare it to the NBA versus college basketball. And here comes the pitch. It's the 3-1 offering. It's a breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. The count's now 3-2. And what I mean by that is the, at least in my opinion, the college basketball, there's more mistakes made. It's not as polished as the NBA. The NBA players in some ways are too good. Whereas in Japan, the players maybe just aren't quite as good, but they do play fundamentally sound baseball for where they're at, and it's much more exciting brand of ball to watch because it's not as predictable as what you would get sometimes in Major League Baseball. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2. It's not out of disrespect to the Japanese players. It's fun to watch the style of play because it is different. You can play the game in many different ways. They do bunt, they slash, they hit and run, but what they lack is the power. The players that come over offensively, that come into the Japanese league, they have to bring the bat, they got to bring the lumber. If you can't hit with any power and be a run producer in the middle of the order, then you're no good to them. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the right-hander Yamaoka holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. This could be a play here. Nakagawa is coming in. He makes the catch. Here's the throw, tagging at third, but holding is going to be Matsumoto. It wasn't deep enough. As the ball blowing in from left field was able to really push that in here. Nice job by the pitcher to get that ball to be hung up. As Nakagawa comes in and makes the grab, and that is going to retire Kiyomiya for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Ryushi Sato. So, runner at third. If we take a look at the number of players in scoring position here tonight, a lot of guys in scoring position and not able to cash in. So Sato steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to right field his first time up. His average has dropped to 139 on the year. As we said, we get into the bottom third of the batting order for the fighters. They got some pretty suspect batting averages with the players. Sato batting 139 now. Shimizu entered the game hitting 128. So he had a knock in the first time up. It'll bring his average up. And then you've got Sigatani, who's batting 188. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Sato. Right-hander here, facing the right-hander Sato, who waggles the bat. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. Kobayashi fields it. He throws to first. And yet again, another runner stranded in scoring position, as that's a ground out, 6-3 to end the inning. So we are now through 4 complete. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard, as we are now through 4 in the stadium called the Kashiro Citizen Stadium. Hang tight, everybody. Suzuki's coming back out for his 5th inning of work. Your score, 0-0 as we move to the 5th. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top of the 5th inning. It's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Buffalo batting order. That means Ryo Adachi, Masataka Yoshida, and Kai Nakagawa to face the right-hander Kenya Suzuki, who is on for his 5th inning of work, as he rocks into the motion and delivers the first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Ryo Adachi. Adachi is 1 for 2 today. He singled in 2 trips, and it's a line drive down the left field line that just hooks foul. We get into the corner, and now the count is quickly 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Question came up in the chat is, do you think that Albert Pujols will hit his 500 home run this year? Well, Pujols has got 692 on his career. I think you mean, is he going to hit his 700th home run? As there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-2. We do know Pujols has the all-time lead in grounded into double plays in all of the history of the game. He's had 13 homers entering into tonight's ball game, and here comes the pitch. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. So Pujols is only 8 away from 700. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Adachi as the pitcher Suzuki, who is at 84 pitches. He had 80 through the first 4 innings. He is in survival mode as he was able to load the bases in the last 2 and get himself out of it. There's a changeup that misses outside, and the count's now 2-2. That last pitch was at 96 kilometers an hour. For those of you at home, that would be about 58 miles an hour. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6 hole into left field. As Adachi's got himself a base hit. That's the 2nd hit of the ball game for Adachi. So he's aboard here with a leadoff single. That's going to bring up Masataka Yoshida. So Yoshida on the year, he's batting .316 with 14 homers and 60 RBIs. He's got 2 walks this evening. As this game does progress, I would think that the over is definitely in jeopardy at this point. They couldn't cash the runs in those last 2 innings. Not sure what the money line stuff is going on, but I would definitely say that it's probably a little bit different. There's a first pitch fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yoshida. Our friend Joseph Andrioni asked the question, who's the best second baseman in the MLB? I assume you're asking about this year and not of all time. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the right field line. It's into the corner. It's going to be a hit. It's going to be extra bases. Rounding second and heading to third is Adachi, coming up with the ball in right field and firing it back into the infield of the right fielder Furukawa. That's going to put runners at second and third with nobody out. If the Buffaloes don't score in this situation here, something's got to be up, because that's going to bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate with runners at second and third and 2 gone. Yoshida just absolutely turns on that and belted it right down the right field line. So Yoshida is at second, Adachi at third, nobody out. And the infield is going to be playing in again here to try to cut the run off if there is one. So back-to-back innings, back-to-back-to-back innings. The Buffaloes are threatening here. Joseph says Altuve or Jimenez. I'd still have to give the edge to Altuve just because he's proven. As we'll come back to that in a couple minutes once this action dies down. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Jimenez is having a fantastic year this year for the Cleveland Guardians. He was acquired in a trade from the New York Mets, I believe in the Frankie Lindor deal. An all-star season. He's having the best year of his career. So no balls and 1 strike to Kai Nakagawa. As he waggles the bat, waiting on the offering here from the righty, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. It's Yumamune who waits his turn on deck. And it'll be Yuma Tongu to follow here. We're into the heart of the Buffalo batting order. So no balls and 2 strikes. Nakagawa waiting here on the offering from Suzuki. He shakes off the catcher, and now he nods in agreement. And now he comes set. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-2. Troy says the Indians are pretty good. Yeah, they are. I didn't see where they're at now, but they were in first place this weekend. If you talk about surprise teams in the MLB, they would definitely be it. So runners at second and third. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Nakagawa, as he's waiting on the offering from the right-hander Suzuki. Suzuki comes set. And here he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow right field. And right center field, it's going to be caught by the center fielder. And tagging at second and at third of the base runners, but they're going to hold as it wasn't deep enough. Imagawa fires it to the plate. And that is going to be a fly ball out to the center fielder for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Yumamune. So here we go again. So Nakagawa is retired for out number 1, and that's going to bring Mune to the plate. Mune is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double in 2 trips. But it looks like that the manager, the big boss, Shinjo, is going to hold up the 4 fingers, and they're going to put Mune on to load the bases. So that sets up the 4th situation. That's going to bring Yuma Tongu to the plate. Well, for Tongu tonight, he's 0 for 1. He popped out to the catcher his first time up, and he was hit by a pitch his last time. So here we go again. Bases loaded, 3 consecutive innings for the Buffaloes. They haven't been able to cash yet. And here comes the first offering from the righty Suzuki as he leans in and gets his sign. And now he delivers. It's a fastball that is missing way outside. That one almost went all the way to the backstop. In fact, that might have been the best way for the Buffaloes to be able to get their first run, is if Suzuki fired it to the backstop. So 1 ball and no strikes to Tongu. And even that, I'm not confident the way the last 2 innings went that the runner would be safe at the plate. Our friend the Crown Clown says 3rd time is the charm. Well, we're about to find out here. 1 ball and no strikes. And here's the pitch from Suzuki. It's a fastball that misses way outside. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Tongu. Yuya Oda waits on deck. Should he be able to get up here to face the right-hander Suzuki. So Tongu waiting on the offering as Suzuki nods in agreement with his catcher, Shimizu, when he comes set. And here's the delivery. It's a fastball swung on it, is popped up into shallow right field. Moving back on it is the second baseman. The wind has taken it for a bit of a ride, and it is caught by the second baseman, Sugatani. And that is going to retire Tongu for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to bring up Yuya Oda. And Oda tonight is 2 for 2. He's got 2 singles in his 2 trips to the plate. The Buffaloes definitely will need another single here if they want to open up the scoring. Trevor Parker says they can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. That's the way it's looking, and it looks like we're going to get ourselves a pitching change. And that is exactly what it looks like here as the pitching coach is out to the mound. They've taken the ball from the right-hander Suzuki, and it looks like they're going to the bullpen. So hang tight, everybody. We've got a pitching change here. Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change. They're going to the right-hander. Kaisi Yoshida is now coming in. And this here fellow was the number 1 overall pick, as Kaisi Yoshida was in the 2018 draft. As the high school tournament is currently going on in Japan, he is one of the Japanese high school legends, as he was unbelievable as his year as a high schooler. He's got 37 games pitched this year. He's 1-3 on the year. He has pitched in 52 innings. He's allowed 40 hits. He's walked 16 and struck out 32. And he's got an ERA of 4.15. It's been his best year as a pro. He came in with a lot of fanfare, but really hasn't done a whole lot up to this point in his career. But he's certainly found his niche in the bullpen for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. So Yoshida on in relief of Suzuki as his day is done, and he is going to be facing Yuya Oda, who is 2 for 2 tonight. As he waits on the first offering from Yoshida, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on it, is popped up over on the right side. It's in foul territory. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman, Kiyomiya, and he makes the catch, and that is going to retire Oda. So 3 times in a row, the Buffaloes load the bases, and 3 times they fail to cash a run. There were no runs in the inning. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left the board. That is 10 runners stranded on base through the first 5 innings. Yoshida comes in, throws 1 pitch, and does his job. We are now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 0 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 0. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the bottom of the 5th inning, and coming up for the Buffaloes, or coming up for the Fighters, it's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. That means Shimizu, Sugatani, and the top of the order Furukawa coming to bat here to face the right-hander Yamaoka. So 3 consecutive innings, the Buffaloes load the bases. 3 consecutive innings, they're not able to cash in a run. This time it was with 1 out, they loaded the bases. Pop out to the second baseman and a pop out to the first baseman has been their demise. Not able to deliver in the clutch has been the mantra tonight. So Yoshida on 1 pitch, able to retire the only batter he faced. So here we go back to the live action as the right-handed hitting Shimizu steps to the plate. And here comes the first offering from the righty Yamaoka, and it's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side, and the count is quickly 0-1. 75 pitches through the first 4 innings. The right-hander Yamaoka, as he's ready to go back to work, he kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right field, moving over toward the foul line and making the catch as the right fielder Oda, and that is going to retire Shimizu for out number 1, 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the second baseman Kenji Sugatani. After this half inning, we have what we like to refer to as our Japanese halftime. After the 5th inning, it usually take a little extended time to do some work on the field and so on and so forth. And we'll take a little extended break as well. We'll loop one of our songs. That'll allow us to be able to get a drink and to get to the washroom. So hopefully we can make it back in time for that top of the 6th. There's the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses down. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strike. Our friend in the living room says this game is taking forever. Really, to play 5 innings in 2 hours, it is a lengthy time, and it's only going to get longer because there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. As one would have to think that when we get into the bullpens, that's usually when the game starts to slow down. So if the first 5 innings are slow, that doesn't bode well for the back end. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There is a breaking ball that misses inside. That's going to run the count now to 2-1. Our friend Mix asking, Lions or Marines, can't figure out who to take. I saw that the Chibalote Marines have the worst record post All-Star break. And you can see that they are fading in the Pacific. It was a 5-horse race, and that 5 horses may be down to 4. They keep playing like they are as they're in an August swoon. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and it gets down, and it gets by the right fielder. It gets all the way to the wall. Digging around second, now heading for third is the batter Sugatani, and he is going to cruise in as he's going to hold him up, but now he's fallen off balance. The throw into third is in time, and he overran the bag, and he is tagged out going around third. Unreal. He hits. I can't believe what I just saw. A sinking line drive. The right fielder misplays the ball. The ball goes all the way to the wall. The batter runner rounds third base too far, falls down. The throw comes in behind him, and he is thrown out. That is this game in a nutshell. Unreal. So we're going to have to wait to see how they score that. As far as I'm concerned, that was probably a triple. I want to see if Oda had actually had caught it or not. The ball got underneath Oda's glove. Backing up on the play was the center fielder. He overruns the bag, trips and falls, stumbles, and then Yumamune applies the tag, and they hose him out over at third base for out number 2. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Yudai Furukawa. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Need Respect is in here, and he says, let's go. Can't believe it. I can't believe it either. Here we go. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 1-1. I was lamenting about the umpire early in the ball game about his inconsistency in the balls and strikes. It's hard to point the finger at the umpire when we're watching some of the stuff that we're seeing here tonight. There's a ground ball hit over to first. It is fielded by the diving first baseman, Tongu. He flips it to the pitcher covering, and that is going to do it as a ground out 1-3 ends the inning for out number 3. Well, the Fighters, they had their chance. Why do I see extra innings coming in this one here tonight? No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 5 complete. It is 0-0 as we're moving to the top of the 6th. Everybody here, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We appreciate you guys for listening in here. We're going to take just an extended break, and we appreciate you guys for being here with us. Hang tight. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be moving to the top of the sixth inning here in just a couple moments. I can say that this has probably been one of the more entertaining nothing games that we've had. We've had runners thrown out at the plate. We've had runners overrun the bag at third base. We've had the bases loaded 3 times by the Buffaloes, and they haven't been able to cash and score with less than 2 outs. And now we are moving to the sixth inning. As we said, they do have extended breaks in between the fifth and the sixth in the Pacific League, as they do come out to work on the diamonds, so we are just a little bit behind. We'll take a look at the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard, as all games are now finals across the MLB. There's no other games going on in the NPB. So we'll take a look at those and bring you up to date here on. So we have our stuff here as a full slate of games across the MLB today, as there were only 9 games in action. So the ball games tonight, we'll start in the American League. It was the Kansas City Royals knocking off the Chicago White Sox. White Sox are a team that, in a lot of ways, were favored to be potentially winning that Central Division, and they're right now languishing in third place. Royals won 6-4, 6-6-0 for the Royals, 4-10-0 for the White Sox. Amir Garrett gets the win in relief. He's 3-1. Joe Kelly took the loss. He's 1-3. Scott Barlow got his 20th save. The Texas Rangers knocked off the Minnesota Twins 2-1, 2-6-0 for the Rangers, 1-7-0 for the Twins. Alexi got the win. He's 1-0. Sonny Gray took the loss. He's 7-4. Former Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk Mike Moore got his 3rd save. And Adolis Garcia got his 20th home run of the year. So we're going to go back to the live action, as the right-hander Yoshida is back on for the second inning of work, and he delivers a breaking ball to Kotaro Kobayashi for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Kobayashi, Wakatsuki, and Fukuda here in the sixth inning to face Yoshida. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll get you all those other scores up to date in just a little bit, as here comes the 1-1 offering. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. Our friend Joel is in the house here, and he says, we hope everybody's riding the under. Well, at the outset of this game, I would not have went in that route, but boy, oh boy, the way this game's looking at, we might be able to play for another week or two, and it still might be the under. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Kobayashi. So Yoshida rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count's now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder, and that's going to be caught by Emagawa. That's going to retire Kobayashi for the first out of the innings. So 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Wakatsuki. You got to wonder, is it a full moon right now in that part of the world? Because it sure looks like the game is being played under a full moon. Just the odd things, the way that things have been taking place. So Wakatsuki comes to the plate. The first offering is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I've only seen Yoshida pitch a couple of times in his professional career. I remember pitching a couple of years ago, and he's not a big fella. He only stands about 5'7", 5'8". There's a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. He's a diminutive righty. I was really surprised. I was over in Japan, and I did a little bit of reading on him just at how small he is. So here's the 0-2 pitch as he kicks and delivers, and it's a breaking ball that's spiked into the dirt, and the count is now 1-2. If I remember correctly, he threw something like 780 pitches. It was almost like Daisuke Matsuzaka-ish when he was in that high school tournament in the span of about 2 weeks. So almost 800 pitches in a 2-week window. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on. It is grounded foul down the first base line. The count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just as a reminder, we are going to be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night Same two teams, same time, same channel. So don't forget to bookmark the channel before you leave tonight, as we will be back on for the ball game again tomorrow. And here comes the 1-2 offering as the righty delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That last pitch, actually, the last pitch, sometimes it looks like a breaking ball, but that was actually a split finger pitch. The pitch was a 12-6, the way it fell off the table, and sometimes it's just so much depth. Usually, when I think of Shohei Ohtani's split finger pitches, it's like they come in as a fastball and then they just fall off a table. But this one here starts at shoulder height and it drops down to below the knees, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away right at home plate, and the count remains at 2-2. So it's not quite the same as what you would see, that's for sure, from some of the more elite pitchers who have their fastballs and their splitties that fall off. Not like a Hideo Nomo split finger pitch that was very, very difficult to hit. So here's the 2-2. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. Moving over into foul territory is the right fielder sliding and making the catch as the right fielder Furukawa. What a great play by him. He's had himself a decent ball game tonight, and he is going to make the grab for out number 2. So 2 away, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. Our friend DW says he just put some money down on the Buffaloes. Well, good luck to you. I think the Buffaloes are like cats that have used up all their lives. The last 3 innings, stranding the bases loaded. And each of the last 3 innings, be interesting if they're going to have life here. They just don't have that momentum. The first pitch delivered to Fukuda is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Fukuda tonight 0 for 3. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. He's grounded to the pitcher and struck out. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. At the count, it's 0-2. Our friend Trevor Parker says, just kiss that money goodbye. Maybe you should just e-transfer that money right over to Trevor. The way this one's going. And here comes the 0-2 offering. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner. It counts 1-2. Our friend Mick says, should I take the Hawks or should I go with the Eagles? Well, I like the way the Hawks have started to play recently. I saw them on the weekend, and they look pretty good. Eagles really have not played very well since they had that big 14-game win streak. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get looped into left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Fukuda aboard here with a 2-out single. That's going to bring Ryo Adachi to the plate. The Buffaloes in this game here tonight have not gone 1-2-3. That was probably the best chance since the first inning to be able to retire it. When Suzuki was pitching in the first 2 innings, he'd retire the first 2 hitters, then he would allow the next guy to get on. And everything after that, the leadoff hitters have been on in every inning except for this inning. They retired the first 2, and then they've got themselves a base hit again. So keep your eye on Fukuda. He can run a little bit. He's got 8 stolen bases on the year. Trying to get him over into scoring position here for Adachi. And the first pitch is a fastball. Off goes the runner down to second. The throw is not in time. And Fukuda has got himself a stolen base. The first pitch there from Yoshida. Our friend Trevor Parker says, where have you been? Can't score. Yeah, that's been the problem tonight. Lack of clutch hitting, not being able to drive runs in. The starters in that game between the Hawks and the Eagles, it is Ishikawa against Norimoto. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 2 balls and no strikes to Adachi. Adachi has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 3. Both of them have been singles. A base hit here, it's not a given that the runner, Fukuda, would be able to score all the way from second base. So here comes the 2-0 pitch as the righty holds set. Yoshida checks the runner and delivers. It's a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. That last pitch was at 91 miles an hour. Now we're starting to see some velocity now out of the Fighters pitchers. Certainly Suzuki, who started, was the sidewinding muffin thrower. But now from this point on, there's probably going to be a steady diet of power arms coming out of the Fighters bullpen. As here comes the 2-1 pitch. As Yoshida holds set, he checks the runner. Checks the runner again and now delivers. It's a fastball, take it for a called strike, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Adachi. Last pitch was at 88 miles an hour. So I'm curious to see about the repeatability of the right-hander here. As now he works set. Waggling the bat is Adachi, and here comes the 2-2. She checks the runner. Checks him again, and now he steps off. Well, this is what I talked about earlier. The tempo and pace of the game is going to be a bit of a problem here because as they get into the bullpens, it really starts to slow the game down. The game was already at a methodical pace through the first 5 innings. Now the bullpen here is going to take it to another new low of slowing it down. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher. That's going to advance the runner over to third base on the wild pitch. So a wild pitch is going to take Fukuda over to third. That runs the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Adachi. That was a split finger pitch that was spiked up to the plate. Catcher blocked it, but he wasn't able to control it, and the ball ended up squirting out toward the first base dugout as the catcher Shimizu had to go and retrieve it. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Adachi. The runner at third is Fukuda. He establishes his lead. And now here comes the pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. Take it for a called third strike. Adachi stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that go by for out number 3. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their 6th inning. Well, they strand another runner in scoring position. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 5.5 innings. It is a 0-0 ball game. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up to bat for the Fighters in their half of the inning. That means it's going to be Daigo Kamikawa Kabata, Suki Kondo, and Go Matsumoto to face the right-hander who is on for his 6th inning work in Taisuke Yamaoka. Our friend earlier in the last half inning, Kill Flames, says, who you got between the Carp and the Swallows? What do you all think? Nobody gave them any answers on that one there. I look at the starting pitchers in that one as well. Take a look at the starting pitchers from around the league tonight. Chinichi Dragons are playing the Murray Giants. Chinichi is sending Yoshi Katsuno to the mound. He's 0-1 against Tomoyuki Sagano. I don't have to think the ace of the Yomiuri staff, or maybe one-time ace. We do have a pitching change here, so we're going to get caught up in that as the Buffaloes are going to the bullpen. It's going to be number 20 into the ball game. We'll have to get you that here in just a moment. This is going to be Kondo. The first pitch he delivers is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded by Adachi. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Kamikawa Kabata for out number 1 on a ground out, 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. So Daisuke Kondo in relief of the starter here in the 6th inning. This is going to be his 31st appearance of the year. He's got a 1-3 record. He's got a couple of saves. He's pitched in 20. He's got 28 innings pitched, 24 hits allowed. He's walked 6 and struck out 27. More importantly, he's got an ERA of 1.93. That's going to bring up Kensuke Kondo, who kicks and delivers, does the right-hander. And that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So it's a Kondo battle. Battle of the condos, I should say. So no balls and 1 strike to Kensuke Kondo, who waits on the offering here. And it is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. So we have to keep our condos straight, we would have to say. So 1 ball and 1 strike. For the hitting Kondo, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out both of his times to the plate. As he waits here on the offering as they kick and deliver, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. Living Room asked the question about the UFC. Sounds like it's old news over there. Our friend Mick says, I'm going to do all NPB Lions or Marines for the last leg. Hanshin, Orix, Rakuten, and the Swallows, and who? There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 3-1. I think that last game is the one that's not on your list there, would be the Dragons and the Giants. I would be taking the Giants. Sagano taking the hill in that one. Even though the Giants have not played very good baseball lately, it's hard to bet against the ace of the staff. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded up the middle, hits the mound, and it deflects over towards second base where Adachi fields it. He throws to first. Kondo's going to be retired. He's going to feel a little hard done by there. It's going to be a ground out 4-3 for 2 outs, and now the Fighters will send Go Matsumoto to the plate. Matsumoto, the leading hitter in the Pacific League, is 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown out to right field, and he's been hit by a pitch. As we watch that ball, it looks like it actually deflected off the heel of the pitcher and ricocheted over to the second baseman. So that's actually going to go down as a ground out 1-4-3. So he gets an unfortunate assist on that one. The first pitch is a fastball that misses inside to Matsumoto, and the count is 1-0. Matsumoto batting from the right side. As we said, he's right perched atop. It's not even really close right now. He's got almost a 40-point lead on Masataka Yoshida, who was second in the league in hitting. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Friend of the living room who was in here, he was saying about how the pace of this game was slow. For a 0-0 ball game to be in the bottom of the 6th inning, 2.5 hours deep almost, and I tell you that there's been some inefficiency at the plate. There's a fastball that misses inside. The only thing we're missing is a rain delay, as it's 3 balls and no strikes. There was rain in the forecast for this one here. We saw a little bit of a mist earlier on, but really nothing else. The wind has been blowing throughout the whole afternoon. As here comes the 3-0 pitch to Matsumoto, and it's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. That's going to be ball 4, as Matsumoto is going to draw himself a 2-out walk. So that's the other theme that continues in this one here. Only once tonight have the Fighters gone traditionally in order. They've gone down in order in the last inning, where they ended up getting themselves into a bit of a pickle. But for the most part, it's been only the 3rd inning here where they went down in order. Everything else, there's always been runners on. There's been action. There's been different types of things. And so this is going to bring Yuma Imagawa to the plate. The center fielder is 2 for 2 tonight. He's got his average up to 256. A friend DW says, is there extra innings or do they have overtime like the MLB? Yeah, they'll play 3 innings. They'll play to the 12th inning. No ghost runner, though. As there's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. They will play the ball game to the 12th inning, and if it's tied after 12, then that's where the game will end. As we mentioned tonight, the only team in the NPB without a tie this year has been the Orix Buffaloes. Everybody else has got at least one tie. When you think of last year, because they were ending the games after 9 innings, there were all kinds of ties. Crazy. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up on the infield. It's on the right side. It's playable. Moving over underneath it is Adachi. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it. Adachi was involved in every play this inning. As that is going to do it here for the Fighters. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. And it looks like we are going to have a pitching change as the big boss has gone out to let the umpires know Yoshida's night is done. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. Welcome back, everybody. The Fighters have gone to the bullpen, and they are calling on a right-hander to come on in relief. And it is going to be number 51, Naoya Ishikawa, coming on. As Ishikawa is now going to be working in his 26th ball game. He's got a 2-1 record on the year. He's worked 22 1/3 innings. He's allowed 19 hits. He has walked 6. He has struck out 27. He's got an earned run average of 3.22. So Naoya Ishikawa in taking over. And who's he going to face? Well, he's going to be into the toughest part of the batting order. It's going to be Masataka Yoshida, Kai Nakagawa, and Yuma Mune face him here. So Kosei Yoshida does his job as he goes 1 inning and 1/3, only allowing 1 walk. Only allowing the 1 hit to the Buffaloes in that last half inning. And now he's going to turn it over to the right-hander here. We got checked out. It's actually going to be I had number 51, but it looks like it's number 57 into the ball game. And this is Kitayama. The 1s and the 7s are very, very similar. So we got right-hander Nobumoto Kitayama in. He worked 44 ball games this year. He's 3-5 on the year. So he comes in here. They face the part of the batting order that's going to be the toughest, and that was 156 kilometers. So that's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Yoshida. So 1 ball and no strikes. I kind of like the jerseys of the Fighters, as there's a fastball that misses outside as well. The count is 2-0. But my problem is with the gold numbers. They've got the white and the blue jerseys, and then they've got these gold numbers, and it's hard to be able to see sometimes what that number actually looks like. There's a fastball taken for a strike, and the count is 2-1, or at least it's hard for me to see. My eyes are still pretty good. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Offering from the righty who throws, it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Yoshida today has been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. He's got a double and 2 walks. As Kitayama rocks into the motion. Now he kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is grounded up the middle. It's fielded by the shortstop who throws it. What a great play by the shortstop, Kamikawa Bada. He ranged to his glove side over the base at second. He's able to throw it on one hop, and fielding it neatly over at first base is going to retire the batter Yoshida. That's going to go down as a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. I have to say, we've seen some suspect plays here, but that certainly wasn't one of them. As they're able to nip Yoshida by about a step at first base. Fantastic play by the Fighters shortstop. And so gone for out number one is Yoshida, and that's going to bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate. Well, Nakagawa tonight is 0 for 3. He has flown out to center, he's flown to right, and he has struck out his 3 trips. The first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is quickly 0-1. And there is a ball that's bunted foul down the third base line. Nakagawa trying to do anything to get on base. He bunts that one foul, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the offering. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Right-hander Kitayama to waste no time. He goes back to work, and there's a fastball that backs the right-hander off of the plate, and the count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nakagawa as, again, Kitayama goes back to work. It's the breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Moving back and watching this one sail. It is a foul ball. Oh, boy. Hooks that one foul down the line. We thought for sure that one was going to leave the yard. The wind was blowing in from left field, and they're going to go and have a look at this one as Nakajima, the manager, has come out. He's asking for the VAR. The wind is blowing like crazy. We're going to have to see exactly what's happened here. As the runner has stopped in the midway through here. I don't know what's gone on here. We're going to have to take a look at this one again. So he's up at the plate. We're getting the replay here. That ball was absolutely crushed. The left fielder just sort of gives up on it as he watches it sail into the seats. And the ball looks like it may have hooked around the foul pole. But they want to take a look at this one here. So the umpires are going to go. Now, unlike the regular stadiums where they do have the VAR and have everything set up, I'd be curious to see how it's going to be set up here in the camera angles. They are playing at a ballpark that is not quite the same. That ball was hooked, but we see where it landed. But the question will be is, did it stay fair? So in this one here, everything has been kind of crazy. We're waiting on the decision here. Where it landed, you could see was to the left of the foul pole. But the question will be is where the angle was. And so the runner, Nakagawa, is going to wait to see if he can finish his home run trot as he's standing over at second base. Sorry, I should say, and that's exactly what it is. They're asking him to do it. Here comes the umpires. As they're going to come back out, and the rule is a foul ball. So it's going to stay as 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Trevor says, do you think it was foul? Well, where it landed was definitely foul. The question is was it hooked around the pole or not? And you can't really tell what the angles that you're getting on the replays here. So the foul poles, that's another thing. They're not really that high up either. That's the other part to this particular place. When you think of the foul poles in Major League Baseball, how they go up into the upper deck and they go right up down the line. Well, the pole here is, again, we don't have an upper deck. It's only a short distance, so the pole isn't all that high. So they have to make that decision where they can. So here comes the 2-2 offering to Nakagawa. They kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and pop foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we've had it all in this one. We've had guys overrunning bases. We've had the bases loaded 3 times by the Buffaloes. And they haven't been able to score. And what else we have? We got everything else that seems to be going wrong here in this one for all the right reasons. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 2-2. Maybe while you guys are thinking about playing the under, some of the people that are in the chat, maybe our group here needs to be thinking about playing for the tie. Maybe it's going to be a 0-0 tie. We're going to go 12. So here's the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, and it is fouled off again by Nakagawa. The count remains at 2 strikes. So Kitayama on in his first inning of relief here has now got himself into a battle here with the left fielder Nakagawa. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. As here he rocks into the motion and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2 strikes. So 2 strikes to Nakagawa. One of the things I always get a kick out of is the amount of rosin that the pitchers will load up with, and Kitayama is one of those. The ball comes out of his hand. The rosin is flying everywhere. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As he rocks into the motion and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that comes inside and hits Nakagawa. He's going to be aboard with 1 out here on the hit by pitch. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Yuma Mune. So we've not had a clean inning at all yet tonight for the Buffaloes. Buffaloes, every single inning, have had at least 1 base runner aboard. So Mune steps to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double in 2 trips. He's also been intentionally walked. So Nakagawa is now the runner at first with 1 gone, and Mune is going to be watching or facing the right-hander Kitayama for the first time tonight. He's raised his average up to 272 on the year. That knock back in the 4th inning. As the right-hander steps off the backside and does the fake toss over the first base, and getting back easily is the runner Nakagawa. So we do appreciate everybody who's tuned in tonight for this one. As a reminder, we'll be back on again the airwaves tomorrow for these same 2 ball clubs. So here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the first base side. It's fielded by the first baseman Kiyomiya in foul territory, and the count is now quickly 0-1 to Mune. We have Nkush Tasildar here. We welcome him and Oscar. Thanks for popping into the stream tonight, fellas. You got a 0-0 ball game on your hands here in the top of the 7th inning. It is a battle of inefficiency for some of these offense. So here comes the pitch. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Mune. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Buffaloes have squandered their opportunities to the point where they've left 11 runners on base in the first 6 innings. Failed to capitalize in the clutch. As now here comes the 1-1 offering to Mune. Right-hander Kitayama holds set. Now he fires over to first base, and getting back in time is the runner Nakagawa. As we were starting to mention before, it will be the same time tomorrow night for these 2 teams. We'll do it all over again. So hopefully if you've got nothing else going on, come on by and pop in the channel, and we'd love to have you around to listen again. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Mune. Question I would throw out to the chat is that if we were able to offer you guys up something there. If you guys were to be offered, if we had a betting service that we can offer you guys bonus money to do it, or a promotional code, would you be taking advantage of that? Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder, Imagawa. He makes the catch. And he fires it back into the infield, and that's going to retire Mune for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Yuma Tongu. For Tongu tonight, he's 0 for 2. He's popped to second. He's popped to the catcher. He's been hit by a pitch in his 3 trips to the plate. Maybe some possible opportunities, as we mentioned a little bit earlier on in the stream, that to possibly partner with some of the online gambling casinos. That if we offer a promo code out, that it'll be able to get people extra money for putting the money down. But we're not sure if we're going to do that quite yet. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Yuma Tongu. So Tongu batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Kitayama, digs himself in. The right-hander checks the runner Nakagawa over at first base. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We are getting into the deep water in this game as we are into the 7th inning. Our friend and Kush says he wishes he could see the video to help influence the bet. KCQ asks, anyone on base? Yep, the runner is on first with 2 gone here. And they fire over to first base, and diving back in time is Nakagawa. One thing I will put into the chat for you guys that may be of interest for you, which also helps you along. It's sometimes hard to get information about the NPB. There is a good English box score that is available, and you guys may be able to pin this and use this to your advantage. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2-1. And certainly for the previous night games, you can do your research as to who pitched and where the bullpen has been there. So there's your answer to this. So if you guys are interested, that takes you to the live box scores of the game. Usually refreshes every 30 seconds or so. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away by Tongu, and the count remains at 2-2. The runner, Nakagawa, was on the move on that pitch. You would have to think they may put him in motion again here. Certainly if it gets to 3-2, they would. He didn't have a particularly great jump on that one, though. Nakagawa does have 7 stolen bases on the year. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yuma Tongu as the right-hander holds set. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside. The runner goes again. The throw's down to second base. It's not in time as Nakagawa has stolen the bag. But it looks like they're going to go to VAR on this one here. The manager, the big boss, is already signaled to the umpires they want to have a look at this one. So I'll give you my thoughts on this before the umpires come back. As far as I'm concerned, the ball was there in time. It bounced up on the shortstop covering. The ball had taken him up into the air, and then he had to come back down to apply the tag. And we'll get a replay of this one here, and I'll take a look at it now. So the throw was in time. I just don't know if the tag was in time. We'll get a different angle. The angles here are not very good. The throw definitely was up in the air, but the tag was also high. The tag was up around the kneecap. So I'm not sure if, and we get a better angle here, if they were able to make that play. We might get that one overturned, though. There may be just enough to be able to see it. Our friend Trevor Parker is hoping for a safe call. Upon further review of that one, we might see it otherwise a little bit different. We got the outfield view of that one. I don't know if the umpires are going to take forever to make this call here, but we're about to find out here in a minute. That last pitch to Tongu was a ball. As we wait here on the decision, that's the one thing I like about the Japanese league is that unlike in Major League Baseball where they got like this 30-second delay, the coach is on the phone, they're calling up, asking, should we review this or not? Make the decision right away. Take the technology out of the dugout and let the coaches make the decision quickly whether they're going to make the challenge or not. And here comes the call from the umpires as the umpires have come back to the field, and they have ruled them safe. It is going to be a stolen base for Nakagawa. So Nakagawa is now in scoring position with the 2 outs here. So our prayers for Trevor has been there. Oscar is asking for a link. I don't know what he's looking for. The link for the live scores, it's up in the top part. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the count now to Tongu. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the pitcher checks the runner over at second. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled over on the third base side, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Tongu. Tongu's got 16 runs batted in on the year as he entered into tonight's fray. He gets the start at first base tonight. We've seen him behind the plate a few times this year. They do have some lumber on the bench to the Buffaloes. And here comes the offering. It is a split finger pitch that misses down and away, and that's going to be ball 4 as Tongu is going to be aboard with a walk. That's going to bring up Yuya Oda to the plate. It's also going to bring the big boss out of the dugout. So it looks like we may have ourselves a pitching change. Can I see what he's talking to the home plate umpire about? But I do think that we are going to get ourselves another one here. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Hang tight, everybody. We got a pitching change here. They're calling to the bullpen. We got another right-hander coming in. We do have a pitching change. It is going to be a right-hander. This is going to be number 54 in the ballgame, Hiroto Tamai. Tamai is going to be working in his 38th ballgame. He's got no wins and 1 loss. He has pitched 28 2/3 innings, allowing 33 hits. He's walked 9 and struck out 10, and he's got an ERA of 4.08. He is going to be the 4th pitcher used here tonight by the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, and he is going to be facing Yuya Oda, who is 2 for 3 on the evening, as Oda will come to the plate with runners at first and second and 2 away. But that hasn't really deterred anybody here. We've got a whole bunch of other folks that are in here. And we welcome you guys all in here tonight. Lance Shah is in here. We've got Ankush as well. The Crown Clown, everybody else. Oscar, thanks for everybody for popping in. Of course, Trevor Parker too, and the living room. So as the right-hander is completing his warm-up tosses, we'll be ready to resume the action in just a moment. So Yuya Oda step into the plate. As we said, he's 2 for 3 tonight. He's got 2 singles in these 3 trips. He's also popped out to the first baseman. So the Buffaloes are trying to cash in. They've stranded 11 runners on base in the first 6 innings. And here comes the offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 0-1 to Oda. Oda batting from the left side against the right-hander. They're really playing the left fielder and the corner outfielders are in very shallow. Any type of base hit here, you've got to be able to hit it over their heads. Anything on the ground to them, they're going to have a shot to be able to try to throw the runners out at the plate. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1 to Oda. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, waggling the bat is the left-handed hitting Oda. As he waits here on the offering from the righty Tamai. As he kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. They've been fortunate in this game here, as we said earlier, that there is weather in the area. Our friend the living room says he's tapping out and calling it a night. Living room always seems to tap out when it's close ball games, but we appreciate you having you in here. Thank you for supporting us, and we wish you a great night. We'll catch you again tomorrow, hopefully. So here comes the 2-1 offering. As the righty checks over at second, he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on his tap foul down the first base line. That's going to even the count at 2-2 to Oda. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Once the living room leaves, that's usually when all the action starts to happen. That's the historical part. As we do appreciate everybody who is in here tonight. As we said before. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Yuya Oda is here at the plate, facing the right-hander Tamai. Checks the runner. Tamai does at second. And here's the 2-2 offering. It's a fastball that misses down, and that's going to run the count to 3-2. Well, now the runners are going to be in motion with 2 outs here, as Tamai has now loaded the count here to Oda. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the righty is ready to go here, he leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher. Now he nods in agreement, and he works set. He checks the runner at second base. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Oda is down on strikes for out number 3, and that is going to do it. Again, the Buffaloes squander the runners on base. They leave 2 more aboard. There were no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We're now through 6.5. It is the Fighters nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call. The bottom of the 7th inning when we return. Appreciate you all for being here. Joe Mao is in the house, so look out. Things are about to get interesting. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be yet another pitching change. The pitching parade for both of these teams is in full effect right now, as the Buffaloes are going to the bullpen again and bringing in another right-hander. This time it's going to be Shota Abe is coming in. The right-hander is working in his 32nd ball game tonight. Got a 1-0 record on the year. He's worked 31 2/3 innings, allowing 19 hits. He's walked 9 and struck out 31. And he's got a microscopic ERA of 0.85. He will be taking on in relief here tonight. I'm sure there's probably a fist fight down in the bullpens for all these pitchers wanting to get in the ball game tonight. Neither of these teams have shown the willingness to want to win, as they've squandered a lot of opportunities. And so here comes the hitters to the plate. It's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Fighters. And it's Kentaro Kiyomiya to lead it off, and he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Kiyomiya, Sato, and Shimuzo to hit here in the bottom of the 7th inning, as Abe is ready to deliver now. And the pitch is a fastball that just misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The third pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes is Abe. So 1 ball and 1 strike, as the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and he delivers. It is a split-finger pitch. It misses down and in, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Anch says the Japanese baseball is like the Athletics versus the Pirates. Yeah, in so many ways. And you forgot to mix the Tigers in there. That's for sure, too. Appreciate you guys listening in. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-2. So if you would have asked me before this game started with the two starting pitchers, how everything was shaping up, I was saying, hey, the over looks pretty good in this one. We're not even close to that. But when you strand the bases loaded 3 times, or at least twice, they ended up being a double play and that other one. You don't get the runs. Well, that's a problem. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. How many more opportunities do you get to pound some runs across? And now they're starting to run out of time to do it. As you're now in the 7th inning. Although I have to say, I was watching that Houston-Atlanta game on the weekend on Saturday. It was 1-1 through 9 innings. The final score ended up being 5-4 for Atlanta, so 7 runs after the 9th inning can happen. It's not something that always happens. But this game here, it looks like that they're swinging with Swiss cheese in their hand. There is holes all through the bats. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Kiyomiya. As he waits on the offering here from the right-hander Abby, who holds set as he works with nobody on. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the right side. It's a fair ball, fielded neatly by the first baseman Tongu, who flips it over to the pitcher covering. That's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Ryushi Sato. So it was a nice play there by the first baseman Tongu, who, for the second time in as many innings, flashing the leather. This time this was a fair ball, though, as he's able to go over to the glove side. Nice underhand flip to the pitcher covering, and that's going to retire batter runner Kiyomiya for out number 1. So Sato steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown out to right, and he's grounded to the shortstop in his 2 trips to the plate. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Only one time tonight have the fighters gone down in order. That was back in the 3rd inning. They've had at least 1 runner on every single base. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is ground over to third, fielded by the third baseman Mune. It's up the line. It's taken by Tongu, and he tags the runner. That's going to be a ground out 5-3. Nice play by Tongu to come off the base and then to apply the tag. It's going to be 2 away here. You have Evan Milner in the house here. We welcome him in. Trevor asked the question. He says, do you speak Japanese? No, I don't speak Japanese fluently. I have some words and some stuff that I do know from my time in Japan, but that's been pretty much about it. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Yushi Shimizu. For Shimizu tonight, he is 1 for 2. He's got a single in 2 trips, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. It's interesting you asked the question there, Trevor, that I say about that because even when I used to work in industry years ago, I used to be able to remember people's names and try to enunciate it as best I possibly could. There's a breaking ball Araya that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So what people would do is they would ask, they'd say, how do you remember our names? And you just sit there and you have to practice. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the offering. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's 2-1. And it's also, too, the other thing is it's when you're dealing with people and you're dealing with those especially who you have to supervise, you need to know their names, first names and last names, and you have to make sure that they're important, because it's not, hey, you, or what's his name. So there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 3-1. It takes a little bit of practice to be able to do that. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Shimizu. There's 2 gone here in the 7th inning. They're looking for their second 1-2-3 inning are the Buffaloes. As here comes the 3-1 pitch from the right-hander Abby. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded foul down the third base line. That runs the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the way this has gone, I just have a feeling that the Buffaloes have used up all their 9 lives. So many chances and so many opportunities that have gone by the wayside. It's really, really crazy the way this game has kind of panned out so far. Here comes the 3-2 pitch now from Abby. As he holds, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball's line foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line. The count remains at 3-2. And as I said before, I understand totally why this game is being played in the afternoon where it is. There's no lights at this stadium. This is like Wrigley Field circa 1988, where there weren't any lights. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander be ready to deliver again. And here's the pitch. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be looped into shallow center field. Coming hard on it is Fukuda. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire the side. 1-2-3. We haven't had one of those in a long while in this one. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're now through 7 complete. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks all locked up at 0 as we expect another pitching change. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for all checking in tonight. Here is another one of our Japanese Hall of Fame memories. Check it out when you get a chance. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving into the top of the 8th inning, and the umpires are out onto the field. Interesting to see what's going on here because we're going to see if they're going to make a decision. One of the problems is that there is the daylight issue because there's no lights at the stadium. The game is locked up at a 0-0 scoreline, and the umpires are going underneath the booth. I'm not sure what they're going to talk to or what they're going to consult, but the cloud cover here is certainly not very good. The clouds are moving fast. It is dark. And right now it is almost 4 o'clock or just after 4 o'clock local time. So they're consulting with the grounds crew because there is rain in the area and the sunlight is not quite there. So I know there is concerns about darkness as the sun will set in Japan. I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to go and look at least in this area what time it would be setting at, but one would have to think between 5 and 6 o'clock. So they might only have another hour left of what we would call daylight. But because of the cloudy conditions, it's very difficult to see the baseball. And so they're consulting right now, especially as you see the cloud cover and just how fast the cloud is moving. Our friend Troy says, well, why do they not have lights? The question would be, this is actually a neutral site game. So on the schedule tonight and tomorrow, not playing at the Sapporo Dome, kind of like how Major League Baseball has gone into Williamsport last night, or they had the Field of Dreams game. Well, this isn't what I call a special event, but the stadium where they're playing at is they have no upper deck. It's a bit of an old school stadium. There's no lights here at this one. And so it's like Wrigley Field circa 1987 that you're getting some old school baseball. And in Japan here, the game is being played today. And of course, now it's starting to become a little bit more difficult for the players to see. And as the umpires are right now talking it over is what we're witnessing over here. Now, as we wait, the Fighters players are playing rock, paper, scissors with the kids in the outfield for a baseball, I'm sure. So they're going to try to be able to get one of their stuff thrown into the stands. They're having some fun with the kids while this game is in a bit of a delay as they're consulting what they're going to do. But regardless, one would have to think is they're going to try to play this one out to its entirety, or at least get through 9 innings. If they can get through 9, if they had to make the call, then they can make some decisions from there. But the other thing I don't know, at least in this one, is would they be able to suspend the game through 7 and pick it up tomorrow and be able to finish the game off tomorrow before they have to go to the next one? But these are all questions that I don't have answers to at this point. Now, the umpires looks like they're just finishing off their consultation. They're going to get the managers together here, and we're going to see what their decision is going to be. As far as I'm concerned, it's not perfect condition, but keep playing because you've only got maybe another hour of daylight, and them talking and wasting time is the problem. And Trevor Parker says, just stop it and avoid my damn bet. But Troy says the games end in ties, and they do end in ties after 12 innings in the Japanese league. But this game here, I'd be curious to know if they're going to continue to roll this one through. As we're going to wait and see here. They're still consulting. The crew chief, I believe, is one of the base umpires. They're talking here to the staff. So he's going to get onto the phone. But the other part is, as we said, too, the rain has been avoided so far. So they're going to make an announcement to the crowd. I know if this was Philadelphia or if this was in Cleveland, as he gives his explanation, he'd probably be throwing batteries at the umpires or the crowd right now. Or if it was Cleveland, he'd be throwing their bottles of beer at them. So because I don't speak Japanese, I don't know all the full details here. But we're going to see what's going to happen here. And that's exactly what it is. They are stopping this game. This game is going to be suspended, and that is going to be it, everybody. So I'm not sure how your tickets are going to play out on this one. And we can recap the scoring summary all in one phrase right here, and that is there was no runs, 7 hits, 1 errors for the Buffaloes. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error. As the game is through 7 is going to be complete as both teams are waving to the crowd, acknowledging that they are here as the crowd is going to be leaving in this one. So we're going to call this one here through the 7th inning. This is going to be suspended, or is it going to be a final? We're going to have to get the information tomorrow. So I'm not sure where you guys are at here. Our friend Killflame says suspended. Why? Because of darkness. And that's because the ball is too light. There's no lights at this stadium. As I said, it's a neutral site game, so it's kind of like playing in Wrigley Field in 1987. The game is not being hosted at the Sapporo Dome. This game, before the game, they were playing it at the Kashiro Citizen Stadium. And as we mentioned, it would be something that would be comparable to maybe a double-A type of field in the United States. Certainly not a triple-A caliber stadium, but a double-A type stadium. No upper deck, no lighting. And that's how this game is going to lop off at 0-0 here. But we'll try to get an update tomorrow when we come back onto the stream. We'll let you know how this one's going to end once we get through some of the media reports. If this is going to go down as a tie game or if they're going to suspend it and pick it up tomorrow as well. Well, everybody, I appreciate you guys all for being here. Just a couple of kind reminders. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the channel. We are going to be back again tomorrow. We'd appreciate your support. We thank everybody for being here. It was a great time with the chat. Everybody jumping in and offering their thoughts. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Your final score, well, nothing, I guess. Thanks for everything else, guys, and appreciate you all for being here. Have a great night, and we will see you guys again tomorrow.